Hello everyone, this is the first video on the unit 1, which is units and measurement. And what we will study in this video, we will study about the forces in nature, unit, the system of units, unit to measure large distances, and parallax method. Fundamental forces in nature. The first fundamental force in nature is called as gravitational force. It is the force of mutual attraction between any two objects by virtue of their masses. About this, you have studied in grade 9, and the formula for this is F is equal to capital G m1 m2 upon r square, where F is the force between the two objects, G is universal gravitational constant having value 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. M1 and M2 are the masses of the two objects, and R is the distance between the two objects. We will study a few properties about the gravitational force. The first one is it is a universal attractive force. That means no matter where the two objects are, the force is always attractive in nature. It is the weakest force in nature as compared to other forces about which we will study. It operates over long distances. That's why sun attracts our earth. That's why the earth is revolving around the sun, and all other planets in the solar system are bounded by the sun because of the gravitational force. It is central and conservative. That means that it is independent of the path for conservative, and central means the distances are measured from the center. It obeys inverse square law. That means this F is inversely proportional to R square. That's the concept of inverse square law. This is what we are talking about. The field particle is graviton. Need not to worry, field particle is a subatomic particle which is the base of this, and in this it is graviton. Weak nuclear force. It is the force of interaction between elementary particles of short lifetime. Elementary particle means the particles which are the constituents of your proton, electron, and all those kind of particles. Properties for this: it is 10 to the power of 25 times stronger than gravitational force, and the field particle is lepton. The third force is electromagnetic force. It is the force of interaction between charged particles. So it can be attractive or repulsive. We all know like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. It is 10 to the power of 36 times stronger than gravitational force. It operates over distances which are not very long. It is central and conservative as like gravitational force. It obeys inverse square law. And here the field particle is photon. The fourth force is called as strong nuclear force. It is the force that binds the protons and neutrons together in the nucleus. Because of this force, the protons and neutrons stick together inside the nucleus. The properties: it is basically attractive, but if the distance between the nucleons, that is protons and neutrons, is less than zero point 0.5 Fermi, it becomes repulsive. It is the strongest force in nature, which is 10 to the power of 38 times stronger than the gravitational force. It operates over very short distances. It is non-central and non-conservative. It do not obey inverse square law, and the here field particle is pi meson. Now let us move to the concept of unit. What is a unit? So unit is the chosen standard of measurement of a quantity which has essentially the same nature as that of the quantity. There are two types of unit. The first one is called as fundamental unit. that is the units of measurement of mass, length and time, are called as fundamental units. Example, for mass it is kg, for length it is meter, and for time it is second. So these are the fundamental units. The other type is derived units. So the unit of measurement of all other physical quantities which can be obtained from fundamental units are called derived units. Example, Newton, which can be written as kg meter per second square. Meter per second is derived from meter and second, so it is a derived unit. Joule is again a derived unit. Now, what are the characteristics of a fundamental unit? That means what are the qualities that we want in a fundamental unit? So it should be of suitable size. That means neither too big nor too small. It should be easily accessible. That is, you can find it easily at every place. It should be easily reproducible. That means you can reproduce it at any place. You don't have to go to specific places. It should not change with time, and it should not change with physical conditions like temperature, pressure, etc. Continuing on unit, the system of units. So there are four system of units. The first one is called as FPS, foot pound second. Second one is CGS, centimeter gram second. Third one is MKS, meter kilogram second. And the fourth one is called as SI, which is the International System of Units. You must be confused with MKS and SI. I will explain the details. Now, the SI system of units is based on 7 fundamental units and 2 supplementary units. The first one is mass, unit is kg, that is kilogram with symbol kg. Length is meter, symbol m. Time unit is second, symbol s. Temperature unit is Kelvin, capital K. Electric current ampere, capital A. Luminous intensity candela, CD. Quantity of matter mole, MOL as the symbol. So these were the 7 fundamental units. There are 2 supplementary. The first one is plane angle, the unit is radian, symbol is RD. The second is solid angle, the unit is steradian, that is SR. Now, what are the advantages of SI system of units? Why are we using SI system so much? So the first one is it is a coherent system of units. That is, it is based on a certain set of fundamental units from which the derived units are obtained by multiplication or division without introducing numerical factors. For example, we did meter per second, so we use the fundamental units to find this. It is a rational system of units, that is, one unit, one physical quantity. For example, in MK system, the unit for mechanical energy is joule. For heat energy, it is calorie. For electrical energy, it is watt hour. But in SI, for all type of energies, the unit is joule. So, one physical quantity, one unit. It is an absolute system of units. That means no gravitational system of units are used here. About the absolute system, you will study in the chapter Force and Laws of Motion. It is a metric system. That means multiples of units are expressed as a power of 10. For example, 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. It is closely related with CGS system. Also, a very important thing, when this question is asked, a lot of time children write this that it is universally accepted. This is not an advantage. If the advantages are asked, you have to write these 5 advantages only. Now, let us study some important practical units of measurement. The first one is astronomical unit, which is the average distance between the center of sun to the center of earth, and the value is 1.496 into 10 to the power of 11 meters. The second one is light year, which is the distance traveled by light in 1 year. So 1 light year can be written as speed of light into 1 year. The speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, and 1 year is converted into seconds. So that's why 365 into 24 into 60 into 60. On solving, we get 1 light year is equals to 9.46 into 10 to the power of 15 meters. The third one is parsec. Now, what is 1 parsec? It is the radius of a circle at the center of which an arc of the circle 1 astronomical unit long subtends an angle of 1 arc second. So this distance is said to be 1 parsec if this distance is 1 astronomical unit and this angle is 1 arc second. So the radius is 1 astronomical unit, which is 1.496 into 10 to the power of 11 meters, and theta is 1 by 60th of minute. So 1 by 60 into 16 degrees, and then it is converted into radians by multiplying with pi by 180. Now we need to find 1 parsec. So r is equals to L by theta, because angle is equal to arc by radius. So radius is equal to arc by angle. So 1 parsec is equal to 1 astronomical unit by 1 second. We put all the values, and on solving we get 1 parsec is equal to 3.084 into 10 to the power of 16 meters. Now parallax method of measurement. Large astronomical distances like distance of a planet or a star from the earth cannot be measured directly. For this we use the parallax method. Parallax, it is the apparent shift of a body with respect to another body. So let us hold a pencil in front of you against some specific point on the background. We don't have the pencil, so here we have taken, this is the person, this is the object, and this is the image. Now look at the pencil in your case, and in this case we are looking at this object first through left eye, so closing the right eye. So here is the image formed. Instead of the image formed here, the image is formed at a different place. What is the next thing? Now then through the right eye, okay, the image is again formed at a separate place. This is the total scenario. So a change in the position of the pencil, and here you can say the duck, with respect to the point on the wall is observed. This is called as parallax. The distance between the 2 points of observation, that is A and C, is called as basis. In case of the eyes, it is the distance between the eyes. In the next slide, we will understand how to use parallax method to find distances between astronomical objects. Consider an astronomical object at a distance d. So S is our astronomical object. Let A and B be two different positions, that is observatories on Earth, separated by a distance small b. D is the distance as we said, and theta is the angle. So we will measure angle theta. Now as the astronomical object is very, very far away from us, that means B by D is very, very small, so theta is very, very small. So we take AB as an arc of length B of a circle with center S and radius capital D. Now we know angle is equals to arc by radius, so theta is equals to B by D, or distance D is equals to B by theta. Let us do a few examples. Calculate the angle of 1 degree, 1 minute of arc, and the third one 1 arc second in radians. Use 360 degrees equal to 2 pi radian, 1 degree is equal to 60 arcmin, and 1 arcmin is equal to 60 arc second. So 360 degrees equal to 2 pi radian, that means 1 degree is equal to 2 pi by 360, that is pi by 180 radian, that is 1.745 into 10 to the power of minus 2 radians. Now we know that 60 arc minute is equal to 1 degree. So 1 arc minute is equal to 1 by 60 degree. that is 1.745 into 10 to the power of minus 2 divided by 60 radians, which is 2.908 into 10 to the power of minus 4 radians. Third one, we know 60 arc second is equal to 1 arc minute. So 1 arc second is equal to 1 by 60 of arc minute, which is 2.908 into 10 to the power of minus 4 divided by 60 in radians, which is 4.847 into 10 to the power of minus 6 radians. Question number 2, the sun's angular diameter is measured to be 1920 arc second. The distance d of the sun from earth is 1.496 into 10 to the power of 11 meter. What is the diameter of sun? So capital D is given, theta is given. Okay, we converted theta into radians. Okay, now we know theta is equal to b by d, or we can say b is equal to theta d. We put all the values and we get 1.393 into 10 to the power of 9 meters. A man wishes to estimate the distance of a nearby tower from him. He stands at a point A in front of the tower C and spots a very distant object O in the line with AC. Then he walks. Okay, so AC, okay, clear. He sees a distant objects. Okay, then he walks to B, 100 meter, looks at AO again, and then at C. Okay, clear. Okay, and the angle is for theta, which is given as 40 degree. We need to find AC. Okay, so we can't use angle is equal to arc by radius because the angle is not very small. 40 degree is not a small angle. Now in triangle ACB, tan theta is equals to AB by AC. Okay, so that we can use tan 40 is equals to AB, that is 100 by AC, that we need to find. So tan 40 is 0.839. Okay, so we get AC is equal to 119 meters. Now the recapitulation, what we have studied what is a unit. Okay, what are the system of units? FPS, CGS, MKS, SI. Then we studied the advantages of SI system, rational, metric, coherent, closely related with CGS. Then we studied about the practical units of measurement, astronomical unit, average distance between center of sun to the center of earth, 1.496 into 10 to the power of 11 is the value in meters. Then we studied about light year, distance traveled by light in 1 year, 9.46 into 10 to the power of 15 meters. Okay, then we studied about parsec, the radius of a circle at the center of which an arc of the circle, 1 astronomical unit, subtends an angle of 1 arc second. The value is 3.084 into 10 to the power of 16 meters. So now is the time to do a few questions. So this is the assignment for you. Try these questions, and after you have tried, do play the video again to check the answer. So question number 1, what is the unit for measuring wavelength of light? Answer is meters. Which of these is largest? So parsec is in 10 to the power of 16 meter is greater than light year, which is in 10 to the power of 15 meter, and astronomical unit is 10 to the power of 11 meter. So parsec is the largest. How many light years make 1 parsec? We know 1 parsec is equal to 3.084 into 10 to the power of 16 meter. 1 light year is equal to 9.46 into 10 to the power of 15 meters. On dividing them, we get 1 parsec is equal to 3.26 light years. Question number 4. The moon is observed from two different diametrically opposite points A and B on Earth. The angle subtended at the moon by two different directions is measured to be 1 degree 54 arc minute. Diameter of Earth is given. Compute the distance of moon from Earth. Okay, so what is given? B is given. Okay, theta is given. We convert it into radians. Okay, now we know theta is equals to b by d, or d is equal to b by theta. We put the values and what we get? 3.84 into 10 to the power of 8 meters. Okay, fifth question. The nearest star of solar system is 4.29 light years. We need to convert in parsecs. Okay, parallax would this star show when viewed from two different locations 6 months apart? So D is 4.29 light years. So we divide by 3.26 to convert into parsec and we get 1.32 parsec. So first part is done. The second one, we know B is diameter of Earth's orbit, which is 2 astronomical unit. That is 2.9 into 10 to the power of 11 meters. Okay, we know B, we know D. So theta we need to find. We know all the values. It's a very simple calculation. We put the values and what we get, 7.12 into 10 to the power of minus 6 radians. So we can convert into arc second, and what we get, 1.46 arc second. Now the acknowledgement, I'm really thankful to Google and Bing for the few images which I have taken. Please check the next video for more concepts. Thank you so much.